He thought he had left his violent past behind and traded bullets for beehives. But when a ruthless cyber scam destroys the life of the only woman who showed him kindness, the system meant to protect the innocent does nothing. Now, a retired operative from the Beekeepers is about to remind the powerful what happens when the hive strikes back. The story follows Clay, a former operative of a covert unit known as the Beekeepers, a shadow organization working under the United States government to handle missions too classified for regular law enforcement. After retiring, he disappears into a quiet life as a simple beekeeper, renting a garage from Mrs. Parker, a kind, retired schoolteacher who now runs a charity supporting struggling women and children. She values Clay's respectful nature, and he is grateful for her warmth and trust. One evening, while inviting Clay for dinner, Mrs. Parker receives a terrifying virus alert on her laptop, warning that her data will be destroyed unless she calls a helpline immediately. The number connects her to a phishing scam operating as a fake antivirus company. As she speaks to the so-called manager, Garnett,
hello, I just got a message.
Hackers seize remote control of her computer and monitor her financial activity. Confused and unaware of the trap, Mrs. Parker believes Garnett's calm assurance that the strange activity on her screen is simply part of the virus removal process. Garnett convinces Mrs. Parker to share her bank details, promising company compensation for the trouble. Moments later, she sees $50,000 deposited into her account.
There's a transfer for $50,000?
Far more than expected. Garnett quickly claims it was a mistake and says he was only authorized to send $500, urging her to return the extra amount immediately. Trusting him completely, Mrs. Parker logs into her bank account to transfer the money back. But the second she enters her password, her entire balance disappears. Garnett and his team have drained everything, not only her life savings, but also the funds from the charity she manages, leaving her shattered. If you are enjoying this recap, don't forget to like the video. Meanwhile, Clay finishes harvesting honey, pouring it into a jar as a small gift for her. When he arrives at the house, he senses something is wrong and quietly grabs a knife from the kitchen. In the living room, he is met with a devastating sight. Mrs. Parker is dead, a pistol lying beside her. At that moment, FBI agent Verona arrives, gun drawn, suspecting Clay's involvement, especially since the victim is her own mother. Local police soon take over, question Clay, and investigate the house.
I keep bees.
Despite her grief, Verona joins the case and uncovers evidence that her mother was targeted by a phishing syndicate that wiped out her accounts. The findings ultimately confirm it was not murder, but suicide.
His hands tested negative for gunshot residue.
And with no proof against him, Clay is released. The next day, Clay returns to find Agent Verona waiting. She apologizes and reveals that her mother was scammed by a phishing syndicate posing as an antivirus company, a group the FBI has chased for years without success. Hearing this, Clay contacts the Beekeepers, who quickly trace the operation to UDG, a fake tech firm run by Garnett, and send Clay the details.
They're routing all over the world.
Clay moves immediately. Carrying 2 gasoline cans, he storms UDG's headquarters, disables security, and forces his way into the control room. After warning an employee never to exploit the innocent again, he clears the floor and drenches the equipment in fuel. Garnett and his men try to stop him, but Clay takes them down with ease. He rigs a bomb to detonate by phone, tells Garnett to run, and moments later the call triggers a massive explosion that rips through the building. A rattled Garnett then informs Danforth that a man calling himself the Beekeeper has destroyed their entire operation. Furious over UDG's destruction, Danforth orders Garnett to hire mercenaries and kill Clay. Garnett tracks Clay to his bee farm, destroys the hives, and ambushes him at home. But Clay is ready. He eliminates the thugs with brutal efficiency and spares Garnett only long enough to slice off his fingers as a warning before letting him run. Meanwhile, Verona learns Mrs. Parker's house has burned down. At the scene, she finds Clay's garage in ashes and an ID card linking one of the dead attackers to UDG, tightening her suspicion around Clay. Bleeding and shaken, Garnett calls Danforth to report the failed hit. As Danforth demands answers about Clay's identity, Clay suddenly appears, attacks Garnett mid-call, and ties him to the front bumper of his car. He drives straight into the water, dragging Garnett to his death, while Danforth listens helplessly on the other end of the line. After drowning Garnett, Clay takes his phone and coldly warns Danforth that he's next.
Now I'm gonna burn you down.
Meanwhile, Verona and her partner Matt search U.S. government databases for Clay's identity, but hit sealed files and dead ends. Verona realizes he may belong to a covert program beyond even FBI clearance. Soon, confirmation arrives. Garnett has been found dead, drowned, and tied to Clay's truck.
They found you got Garnett.
Panicked, Danforth turns to Wallace, a former CIA chief assigned by his mother, President Jessica, to oversee his security. When Wallace learns that a man calling himself the Beekeeper is targeting Danforth, he contacts CIA Director Janet, who confirms Clay is a retired operative from the Beekeepers.
So your problem? He's retired from the program.
Wallace immediately orders Clay's termination, and Janet assigns an operative named Anna to carry out the hit. Subscribe to the channel before watching ahead. Clay stops at a gas station and walks into an ambush. Anna attacks, but he outmaneuvers her, severs her fingers, and sets her on fire, igniting the station in a massive blaze. Afterward, the Beekeepers inform the Central Intelligence Agency they will stay neutral and stop pursuing Clay. With both agencies stepping back, Wallace assembles his own Special Forces team, exposes the Beekeepers' existence, and labels Clay a rogue threat who must be eliminated.
To kill his way to the top of the hive.
The next day, Verona and Matt inspect the charred station. Meanwhile, Clay uses her severed finger to access her home computer, traces Garnett's last signal, and pinpoints Danforth at the 9 Points building. Armed with weapons and explosives from Anna's stash, he heads there, unaware that Wallace's special forces are already inside, and FBI SWAT teams are positioned outside, waiting for him to strike. Wallace orders his special forces to let business continue inside the 9 Points building, even though NSU, like UDG, is part of the same phishing syndicate. Clay arrives, swiftly takes down the FBI SWAT team outside, and slips into the building unnoticed. Once identified, he faces a full assault from Wallace's men, but outmaneuvers and eliminates them all. He then corners Rico, an NSU executive, and demands the name of the real mastermind. Rico claims his boss is untouchable.
These people, they're untouchable.
But Clay insists no one is beyond reach. Rico finally reveals the truth, just as Verona and her team storm in, allowing Clay to escape again. Soon after, Verona and Matt confirm that both NSU and UDG are owned by Danforth through Danforth Enterprises. Verona realizes Clay's mission may not end with Danforth. It could threaten the president herself. After the truth surfaces, the deputy director orders Verona and Matt to capture Clay,
You have a blank check.
while SWAT tightens security around the president and her family. At a high-profile charity event at President Jessica's beachfront mansion, Verona joins the Secret Service detail. Meanwhile, Clay infiltrates the estate through a drainage channel, hides beneath a truck, disables a SWAT officer, and plants explosives on Secret Service vehicles before blending in with the guests. Inside, President Jessica learns that Danforth's empire, built through Danforth Enterprises and shell companies, funded their campaign with stolen money, leaving her outraged. When Verona realizes Clay is on the grounds, she orders his arrest. Surrounded, Clay kneels, then detonates the vehicles as a diversion, eliminates the agents nearby, and storms the mansion to confront Danforth. Faced with her son's crimes, Jessica decides to expose him publicly,
Tell the truth.
hoping to stop Clay's wrath. Inside the mansion, Clay fights through the halls, injuring Secret Service agents and killing Wallace's mercenaries. He defeats Lazarus in a brutal showdown, then confronts Wallace, snapping his fingers when he refuses to stand aside. Clay rigs the office door with explosives, blasts his way in with Verona and FBI agents close behind, and finds Danforth holding his wounded mother hostage. In that tense moment, Clay asks Verona a single question. Is she here to uphold the law?
Or for justice?
When Danforth makes it clear he is willing to sacrifice anyone to save himself, Clay makes his decision. He shoots and kills Danforth, then escapes through a window. Verona has a clear shot but chooses not to fire, valuing justice for her mother and the countless victims over strict legal duty. The film ends with Clay disappearing into the ocean, using scuba gear he had hidden along the beach to make his final escape. Thanks for watching, and share this video with your friends who love action thrillers.